Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Guide presenting F1 World Grand Prix. This is on the N64, and it's by Paradigm, the people that did Pilot Wings on the N64. We have jumped straight into an options screen here because this freaked out my capture device slightly. So we've kind of skipped the intro and we're going straight into options. What have we got here? 97 events. It's got an event mode in it. It's been years since I played this game. Have we got a 16:9? No, we haven't. Yeah, years since I played this game. I bought this game for about £3. Boxed and complete. This is the American version, and it's running on a Japanese N64. So it's the maximum frame rate, and it's in English, which is a blessed release for all of us. But like I said, it was £3, so this isn't a popular game by any means. You're probably still going to get it to this day for less than a tenner. But is it worth it? Well, let's play a couple of tracks and find out. Quite like these little maps, kind of groovy. This is a sort of a simulation of F1. It's not an arcade style game, and I seem to remember there's lots of driving aids, including automatic braking, which I don't think I've turned off here, so I think my car's going to automatically brake when it gets to corners, which is nice of it. It's like Herbie the Love Bug, but in F1 car form. So pick a course there, let's pick a driver. Let's go for old MS, the German wonder kid of F1. Don't know who's in the F1 97 season. What's that? Is that 23 years ago now? I don't remember anything about F1 apart from the cars looked a bit weird in the 90s. Kind of stubby. This kind of looks okay. It looks a bit blurry. But it's an N64 game, so it has an inherent level of blur. We have got some mip mapping on the textures there, which also gives it a bit more of a blurry look. Looks like we can do loads of things there to elements of the car. People who like to tweak options in menus are well catered for in this game. We've got nice engine notes here, and off we go. Frame rate is not bad. Got some different views. You can see the old driver's hands there. Track polygons are quite low. The sensation of speed is not great. I am travelling at... we're travelling nearly 300 kilometres an hour, like it's at full speed. And it looks like I'm going about 40 miles per hour and I'm Austin Allegro. It's an old man car reference. I don't know anything about cars. You might notice that from the reference I just gave. It's a Ford Capri, a Mini Metro. Do they even make any of those anymore? Got no idea. Got several layers of 2D tree planes at the side of the track. It's effective if you squint. If you look at it directly, it lets itself down with its blurry textures. The car model is quite good, although it's not lit particularly well, so you don't get any sense of shape, which is nice. But it is an N64 game, I guess. Can't complain too much. Don't think the cars get damaged in this game. Let's try and ram something and find out. The tyres get dirty though. If you run over the grass and the sand, the tyres go all filthy. Don't know if that affects grip, probably. It is a simulation. It's not virtual racing, that's for sure. I'm not overtaking anybody here with any kind of regularity. I just shunted a dude up the arse and there's no visible damage. So it was an ineffectual rear-ended attack. No harm done there. Got a weird warning at the side of the screen there, sort of split. It's strange. This game has a lot of detail in it for an N64 game. To be fair, the frame rate is pretty decent. The draw distance is pretty decent. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. it's not virtual racing on the Switch, obviously, which is like super resi and sort of sickly smooth and sweet. But it is playable, this is controllable, and surprisingly not hideous, which was my main worry coming into this. So there we go. Some shadows baked into the train there as well, which is nice. There was weather conditions. I noticed that there were weather conditions in the options. This is sunny, apparently. Doesn't look too sunny, does it? But hey, like I said, it's an N64. What you gonna do? This corner's catching out air every single time. This track is particularly bland. It seems to have two massively long straights on it, and then annoying chicanes at the end of them. So how many views is that? That's one. So we've got bumper cam. We've got which is very bouncy and actually hurts your eyes quite a bit. So we should use a different one. We've got cockpit cam, which is nice. Nice to have a modelled car there. We've got slightly above cockpit cam, like I'm an extra head sitting on top of someone's head. We have slightly outside car view and further outside car view. So that's a nice selection of viewpoints. I like the old backfiring engine nonsense there. That was quite nice. So, were Ferrari really bad in the 97 season? Was the car utter dog shit? I don't know, I can't remember. Michael Schumacher surely was world champion in 97 though. So, or maybe it was Damon Hill, I'm not sure. Well, it should be near the front, shouldn't I? But I made a mistake of braking on this long straight and everybody overtook me. Okay. Wasn't Ferrari also sponsored by something like Marlboro cigarettes back in the day? So this being an N64 game on, a Nintendo console, they probably took the cigarette sponsors out and beer sponsors. Because I remember back in the day, Formula 1 had quite a lot of beer sponsors. Do they still have beer sponsors? Dunno. Don't care. I'm not a Formula 1 fan. I do kind of like driving games though. At the moment, this is fairly entertaining. I think I would need to turn off automatic braking there to just give myself some challenge, because at the moment all I'm doing is got the accelerator pressed and I'm just steering left and right. I'm not doing it very well, granted, but that is all I'm doing. The tracks seem very narrow, but I think that's probably quite accurate to Formula 1. I don't think they have super wide tracks on a lot of courses. Obviously the start finish straight is quite wide. But hey, I haven't played a lot of Formula 1 games on the 32-bit consoles, PlayStation, Saturn and N64, so I don't know how this stacks up. Because the PlayStation had a Formula 1 game. I think Bizarre Creations might have made it. I never played that one either, but I wonder how that stacks up. It probably looks a bit sharper, but possibly not as far a long draw distance on it. I don't know. Because N64 was pretty good at doing the old draw distances, because it could draw like massive triangles, couldn't it? So it's kind of low poly, but you could have those polys on the screen for like massive distances. So yeah, it may be comparable, who can say. Yeah, this track is dull. Looks like there's a full-on championship mode in here. Looks like we have a split screen mode too, which I imagine the frame rate is pretty poor. The analog control's quite nice. The car is a bit twitchy, but then I guess Formula 1 cars are twitchy. Don't know, never driven one. But you can do some smooth analog movement. It's not impossible. By the way, the curbs are modelled with some actual depth, so it feels like the car's rolling over an actual thing. But yeah, that's some nice stuff in here. Yeah, I think this is pretty impressive for an N64 game. The car's got no shininess to it at all. It's a bit of a disappointment, but the wheels are modelled, so that's quite nice. G-Burger, giant burger. I love giant burgers. I don't know who any of those drivers were. There was R. Schumacher there as well. Maybe he's the real Schumacher. Who's to say? Back at the start here, I'm going to let the demo play, I think. This music is dreadful. Congratulations on that, Paradigm. Paradigm were kind of kings on the N64, weren't they? Because Pilot Wings was quite an impressive technical achievement. That was a launch game. And you've got this. This looks pretty decent. That ambulance is nicely modelled there. A rain effect. Some sort of rain effect going on. The actual rain drips there aren't particularly convincing, but I do like the fog. The fog's nice. And actually the kick up from the wheels is actually quite nice. So there's some bits and bobs going on there. It's quite convincing from car view, although those other car tyres are a bit bad. Yeah, there's no sense of reflectivity in the wet tarmac at all, which would have been nice. Probably too difficult for them to render though. Is this the Japanese track? This is Suzuka, isn't it? So it looks to be like an accurate. They've got accurate recreations of a lot of well-known racetracks, which is fine. So I wonder if they had the official license. Yeah, this probably looks kind of okay, doesn't it? It must be an absolute nightmare to drive a real Formula 1 car in the rain. 200 miles per hour. It's like if you've ever driven on a motorway when it's in a heavy rain shower at 70 miles per hour, it's bum-crunchingly exciting with the traffic weaving in and out and lorries not taking any notice of you. So I can't imagine what it's like in a Formula 1 car. It must be an absolute pleasure to feel on the edge of death every 10 seconds. So exhibition, Grand Prix, challenge. Looks like we can just practice any of the courses. Stats, hold Z. Yes, it's all fairly detailed in terms of options. System start. So we picked a different course there. Which course did we pick? Canada. And it's also sunny. I could have picked a different weather, but I didn't bother because I can't drive it in. If I can't drive it in midsummer on a dry track, what chance have I got? Quite a nice fly through of the track there. Some weird glitching going on with the camera, but gives you an idea. So let's just play a couple of laps of this and call it a day. If you like driving games and you are not adverse to Formula 1, especially classic Formula 1, I imagine you get some fun out of this. You get all the cars on the screen at the same time. They're all doing sensible driving around the track. The graphics are alright for an N64 game, and the control's quite nice. And importantly, as well as being a decent game, it's dirt cheap. It is literally dirt cheap. You couldn't buy dirt for the same price you buy this car for, especially not if you lived in Waterworld. But we don't live in Waterworld. This game's not dirt cheap. This game is, I don't know, less than 10 quid, which is cheapish, isn't it? If you get a loose car, you should pick it up for 4 quid. Get a box copy, less than tenner. Yeah, it's F1 though, so that might put you off. And casual fans of driving games that don't have any interest in learning controls probably won't get a lot of fun out of it. I don't think there's an arcade kind of mode where you can just kind of razz around virtual racing style. It's all simmy. It's all a bit simmy. There we have it. You could, however, I say this is less than 10 quid. If you've got access to, say, an Xbox 360, or an Xbox One, or a PS3, or PS4, you could probably pick up one of Codemaster's F1 games, like, say, F1 2010, or 2011, for probably about 3 quid. And that will be graphically superior, and probably control nicer, to be fair. So if you really wanted the authentic F1 experience, those games are probably better off as a first port of call. If you, however, you've only got N64, or fancy some classic F1 from space year 1997, perhaps this is the one for you. The Codemasters F1 game is another game I haven't played for years, and I have played it. I do own copies of it, and it does have like an arcadey sort of handling mode in it, so it's quite nice. But this is decent too. So there we go. Right then, I'll just ineffectually drive around this course a bit more, soaking up the sights and sounds of mono F1 engines and low poly geometry daubed with low poly textures, and I shall see you next time. Alright then, it's alright.
Irvine is 2 seconds ahead. Ralph, 2 seconds behind you. Irvine is just ahead. Hackett is 5 seconds behind you. Last lap. Go for it. Alice is 4 seconds ahead. Ralph, 2 seconds back. Irvine is out. Alice is 2 seconds ahead. Hackett is 4 seconds behind you. Berger's gone into the pit. Berger's out. You're in the point.